some defensive tactics? Defensive tactics protect the conversation by staying calm, asking questions back, and not letting the other person change the subject or attack you personally.
What are some defensive tactics? Defensive tactics protect the conversation by staying calm, asking questions back, and not letting the other person change the subject or attack you personally.
Defensive tactics include never answering a loaded or complex question until it is clarified, refusing to be put on the defensive by immediately reversing the burden of proof, spotting and naming red herrings or ad hominem attacks, keeping the main thing when the conversation tries to rabbit trail, and knowing when to end a fruitless exchange while still leaving the door open. The aim is to protect both the truth and the relationship. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but kind to everyone, correcting his opponents with gentleness.
Kuku repeatedly stresses that the Christian is not obligated to answer every challenge on the challenger's terms. Character and calm under pressure often speak louder than the cleverest argument. The first line of defense is clarification. A loaded question such as, "Why do you Christians hate science?" contains multiple assumptions that must be unpacked before any reply is offered.
Asking, "What do you mean by hate science?" or "Which specific claim are you referring to?" prevents the Christian from accepting a false premise and then defending against it. Reversing the burden of proof is equally important when an aggressive claim is made. Faith is just belief without evidence. The immediate response, "What do you mean by evidence, and what standard are you using?" places the responsibility back on the speaker rather than forcing the Christian into an instant defense.
Red herrings and personal attacks are common, naming them calmly.
That's an interesting point about church history,
But it doesn't address the resurrection claim we were discussing.
keeps the conversation from drifting ad hominem remarks.
"You're only a Christian because you were raised that way."
Can be answered by acknowledging the observation and then returning to the issue.
"My background may explain how I first heard the message."
But it doesn't tell us whether the message is true.
Staying on the central question, who is Jesus and what did he do, prevents the discussion from dissolving into secondary controversies.
Finally, wisdom includes knowing when an exchange has become unproductive, a polite exit that leaves the relationship intact.
I can see we see this differently. I'm glad we could talk.
Often does more good than prolonged argument. Defensive skill is therefore an expression of neighbor love. It refuses to be manipulated into anger or distraction, protects the dignity of both parties, and keeps the focus where it belongs.
On the claims of Christ and the actual condition of the other person's thinking, calm clarity under pressure frequently communicates more
Than the most polished content.
What are some defensive tactics? Defensive tactics protect the conversation by staying calm, asking questions back, and not letting the other person change the subject or attack you personally.